system is individual and position or activity specific. So we're looking at skills here really for rugby, and we're going to list a number of skills, but of course you would choose the appropriate skills that the individual needs in their different positions. A prop and second rows requirements may be different to a winger or a first 5/8. But of course there are generic skills as well, because rugby is a contact sport. This is for coaches. Andy's a former professional player. We're not attempting to do this like young men, showing how fast and hard it can be done, or even how well. But we are going to be concentrating on the content. So please bear with us and view it from that perspective. The first one we're going to start with is something which comes from martial arts. It's about underhooking. One of the exercises that I would argue I was certainly one of the first to introduce to professional rugby. However, many people use it, but they don't always get the invisible rugby skill. The thing that makes a technique really work under pressure, as opposed to it working a lot of the time and sometimes failing. So although it's never possible to guarantee that you can outdo everybody, because the world is a diverse, talented place, it is certainly possible that if you get a technique near absolute correctness and use it at the right time, it'll be very, 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 very rare that you're not able to make it produce the results you're seeking. Let's look at underhooking. So Andy here is starting off, and we're always thinking about breathing first. So throughout the action, Andy's already activated, he's visualized, he's done his 3 deep breaths already. But what we're doing here is we're going to be using tension in the core, the scaps, the back, building that up as we do a mechanical exercise. The exercise starts like so. Andy's got an underhook here, if you wave the hand, Andy, and I've got an underhook here. And in wrestling terms, the idea is if we had our heads together and we're pushing, if Andy tries to grab this leg, I've got some response. I can push and I've got this arm. And in the ideal world, I'd be holding on the shoulder. We're not doing, because we want to show you clearly the transition. Likewise, if I go for Andy's leg, he can come up on my shoulder and stop me. So Andy now steps forward lightly at first, breathing and winding underneath. I go forward. We avoid heads carefully, because we want each episode to be almost like going into contact. He's attacking, I'm getting a base and getting solid. He goes back. I'm coming in low underneath him. He's now getting a base and being solid. We put a little bit of tension in here. We don't rush it to start with. And we do as many repetitions as required to activate the core and relax Andy. Because Andy's used to doing jiu-jitsu now, he's converted to studying with my good self and is an excellent student of the art. We're now going to do the phase 2. This is where we don't try and push each other around. He's a bigger unit. We're not looking to try and win a battle. We're looking to get our engines and our minds, our brain and our body connected. We're breathing in through nose, out through mouth as we're doing it. As we go into contact, breathing out, using that thoracic tension to help give us a body armour. Stiffness in the scaps and the back will increase Andy's power to the front. But it's something you've got to learn, isn't it, Andy? And we'll talk about that later. Let's get back to the exercise. Let's go now, and phase 2, where Andy comes in a little harder with shoulder pressure, but we're very careful to avoid each other's heads. There, and I've got to resist, it's strong. He goes back, and I'm pushing. Contact, and this is where you have to train your players. We could just wrestle around, but we're going to do a little bit of that later. But here we're activating. Yeah. Andy comes into me, boom, back, and we push and hold, and just put a bit of tension in there. So we're learning, we're educating core stiffness. Duration and time, further uses of this exercise, do see us, we can give you a lot more on this, but it does a lot to activate the core and to get the breathing, the visualization and the physical activity into one. That's underhooking as a part of activation.